of years. It needs to get done.
Okay, let's put that where Brent is. Ditch by Lils.
Or the best that it isn't.
Huh? It's in the county right away. It's been since they paved the road. It needs to be cleaned out.
Do you know the
Land description?
street or avenue?
Well, it's on the new pavement out there, wherever they.
So it's county, the county road.
It's on the highway going north and south.
North of Bremen or south of that?
South of Bremen, but north of that intersection on, what's the street that goes across there?
In Rockford, you mean?
Yeah, that gravel road, what's that street?
That's 19. That's the one that goes by Donnie, it goes all the way around Rockford. That's 19.
Yep. It's north of 19th Street and then the county road that goes to Bremen.
You know, just refresh my memory. We've discussed this before. What did we come up with?
Well, Schimmel was gonna clean it, he never did. Now I'll just say this. The south end of it is dealing with Richard Lee. So that might answer some questions.
That's why it hasn't been done yet.
The south end of it.
The south end of this ditch, after 19th Street,
Yeah.
is in the road right away. It's not been cleaned out because Richard Lee's farmed it.
And you won't allow them?
I don't know if
Well,
you
you
won't
can't
allow
allow
them,
'em. I mean-
but they could clean that ditch, they could make the ditch more sloped and not even haul the dirt
And where would the water run?
to the south.
In the ditch?
Wrong ditch down to where the rest of it goes.
Wow, that's a brainer.
Well,
Does it go
convince
across-
Richard Lee that.
No, he has nothing to say to that. He has nothing to
It's
say.
right on the edge of his land.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's
well-
it's in the highway right, in the
It's
road
in
right.
the road right away. I know,
Yeah, that needs
but
to-
you get somebody to do that.
Okay, we got it on the agenda. We'll bring it up when Brent's here.
You brought it up now already.
Hey,
Well, we just clarified what we're gonna talk about.
Okay, we need to go over the past minutes.
Motion to approve.
Approve the regular commission meeting minutes, and then the special meeting, we'll need another motion for that. Motion by Boone for that. Oh,
Well,
do we have a
Wait a
second for
minute.
the first one? Second by Brian. Was there any discussion? Do you have discussion yet?
no,
Okay. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor of the minutes for the first meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Then the special meeting minutes, motion made by Boone to accept them, need a second. Second by Brian Miller. Any discussion on that one? That was the one where the phone call didn't quite work right, so,
yeah, too many people.
yeah, but it was taken care of, so. All those in favor of that one with the special meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right. Bills. Everybody want to take a couple minutes to look them over again?
Does anybody know what the crater's bill is again? $3,000, is that?
That is
$8,600
more repair work,
I just,
Where's that one at?
like it was a bunch of lifters in the vehicle.
Right, it's right in the middle of the first page.
that was after the 6,000?
Yep,
Oh, that's $10,000.
wasn't it 8,600 the first time and now 3,200 this time?
yep.
That's $12,000.
No, that's 10,000 total.
Yeah, but it still should have been covered under warranty if the vehicle only had 46,000 miles on it.
And that ship has sailed because of what happened previously.
What?
You void your warranty stuff when you have.
Right, so you take it to a dealer.
Right.
So,
Well, I think something should be said to somebody.
well, as soon as that first thing happened, you ain't got no warranty now.
Right.
No, I understand that, but still.
You just add it.
Are we gonna keep paying these bills?
Well, that one, yeah.
So, software innovation, that is for Suffolk County.
Yep, that's our taxation program.
Okay.
Is that that an annual thing or?
Yep, and in the world of good news, it hasn't gone up for several years. I'm sure it will a few times, but yeah.
Pretty sure it doesn't have to wait much.
Those elevator corp, those two,
Say it again.
the elevator corp,
That big name, none of us.
TK,
pronounce.
yeah, TK elevator. Okay, so after knowing for the better part of an entire year that elevator was gonna be repaired, or, brought up to speed and up to code,
Yeah.
okay? All done, go away, sheriff's office comes to me and says, we gotta have a key to stop that elevator on court days when we have a prisoner downstairs. So that's what that is.
And there was never one before.
Oh, yeah. But they didn't say anything, and then you damn well for a year that that elevator was getting fixed. And then after it was done,
They had to come back.
now they came back and said, we gotta have a key to stop that elevator on court days when we have a prisoner downstairs.
Why
You
wouldn't-
knew for an entire year we were gonna do this.
And they had a key before, but then, once they repaired it,
Yeah.
then the old key didn't
Done.
work.
and it was a $5,500.
So that's $5,500 and the other deal's $10,000, that's kind of a stinky situation.
Well,
But
the
it all
key,
stems from
the
one
key
guy.
thing is in both of them. It's the second one, right?
The key thing was $2,500,
Right.
and
There's
And
two.
we got a deal because it was gonna be $4,400, and I said, holy cow, you guys, geez, I just handed you guys Janna $100,000, and they dropped it to $2,500. The other piece, there's another piece that goes with it, anything above $2,500 is for annual service. So you're paying in advance for when that thing has to be serviced.
That's yearly.
And I don't recall the total bill, it starts with a 5. Is that right?
That'd be $55.92.
So about $3,000 is make. or,
Right,
service.
2009. Yeah.
At the bottom of the page, it says World Insurance Association LLC.
That is, our boilers insurance.
That means we got the key too.
Well,
Sorry.
Speaking, it was,
They did add 10% though.
yeah, not bad money. Money.
No engineering fees this month.
That's why it's.
Right.
That's why it's less than $100,000.
Under the social services, it says Hampton Roundsville, $3,500, that was a special deal.
Yep, occasionally they have to bury somebody.
That's the funeral director
Oh, okay, okay.
from somewhere.
And when John Q. Public can't pay their own, taxpayers pay for it.
I'll make a motion to approve the bill.
Motion made by Stan, is there a second?
Definitely.
Second by Miller, discussion on it? It's one thing that never stops, is the bills, isn't it?
A lot of technology and software.
Yeah, insurance.
Insurance, technology, and software.
I have a question on all these Weld County treasure deals. There's probably close to 15 of them. Why isn't there nothing itemized behind any of them? There's 9 of them right here.
Bottom of the page.
Yeah, I think it's key card still.
There's 9 of them here, and there's,
It's all P card stuff, it's stuff that went on a credit card, it could be anything.
oh, then it doesn't show that. Okay,
It could be
I just
anything.
asked.
It could be
If
anything.
you want details, the office would have them.
No, but,
No, I mean, if
That's what
anybody
it
would want
is,
to.
though.
right, but I mean, some of them are $1,000. And that's
Is
on a
that
credit
like,
card.
sheriff department gas and all that stuff? All right.
It could be some of that. And the only thing that I did different this month is They're alphabetized, which is why you see them all together. They'd have been in there before, but they'd have been here.
Right, they've always been in there. And some months are more than others.
I know, I just was wondering, that's,
They're just all
Well, some
together.
of them are probably part two with that one girl over here.
No,
They would have their own, some other.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, just, we'll take a look through the balance sheet. There's nothing unusual here. I will tell you, road department right now, negative 218. Again, that's gonna be a high water mark. 23 of our townships have paid for their blading services, so we're still waiting on 13 of them. But that's pretty good. 2/3 basically are there. Again, I don't wanna beat this to death, but 911 and county agency, obviously those are negative numbers. They're at their high water mark because they just too got tax dollars and so on and so forth. We're gonna have to be a little bit more, and look who I'm talking to here after you just reviewed some of those things. People just have to become just a little bit more conscientious. They don't have to stay up at night thinking about money and finances and things like that, but they do have to be a little bit more thoughtful on all of these things, because these things aren't coming back by themselves. And I just hope, obviously, two of you serve on the health district's board. I hope that they get some of those dollars that are being handed out, because otherwise you're gonna have another one that's going to go considerably into the red before this year is over. And,
So, shouldn't that been kind of decided already, or?
it's mostly gonna be granting.
it's all granting.
They've figured out what it is, and now you gotta start applying for grants. And
I believe she's done that already, hasn't she?
I can't.
Well, the details of the whole process wasn't done right away. You know, state legislature met, I went online then about a week later thinking, and details forthcoming. That was 2 months ago. I gotta believe, because the deadline is September?
It's later this summer.
Yeah, it's not, you don't have a year to do it. So, in turn, I'm assuming they're applying for some.
And my thoughts is that it's gonna be categorized, so I just hope it involves categories that they actually do.
Right. When we talked about it at our last district health meeting, that, yeah, but at that time, the details of, you know, the parameters of what you could apply for were there, but no details, so
with
they're aware of it.
With the hospital adding an oncology unit, I assume they anticipate that that's what's gonna pay for this. I don't know that, but I am assuming a large part of that oncology unit, they're hoping they get money for
Correct.
that. So that wouldn't be something the health district would have, you know, they don't provide those kinds of services. They need stuff in the areas of immunization and home health and things of that nature. I hope those things exist. But I'm not going to belabor this. Everything here is very, very normal, with the exception of those negative numbers. But do you have any questions for me on anything on that?
And most everything's been paid out for the political subs.
Yes, anything that you see coming back in there, yeah, that would all be paid out. And then we'll continue, we won't make another payment except to schools
Schools, I
until
know that.
July 1st. But yeah, those are all zeros now.
The motion made, okay, the balance sheet. Motion made, approved, second by Brian Miller, any discussion on it? Discussion, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, next page has your investment components, and we've got one coming up with FIBT next week for $1 million. It was at 405. We are going to renew that. That'll be for a whopping $375 now, so it continues to constrict. Nothing's over 4 anymore, but we are going to raise it up to $1.5 million. You'll see that reflected next month. And from that perspective, obviously, we we do have monies, but, any questions or thoughts on anything you see there?
Have we gotten money from the homestead grant yet?
No, not yet.
Any guess as to what dollar amount that would be?
No, but it'll be just over triple of what it was a year ago, so it'll be good money, it'll be several $100,000. I thought it would be coming in April, but I see so many questions on the listserv that are going back and forth, so I don't know if April's gonna happen or not.
And that doesn't matter, I just figured if we had gotten it or not.
No.
If we had gotten it, our income from here on.
Yeah, it's gonna bounce up.
It will still go up.
Yeah.
And I don't, is there any big outlay, do we need any big expenditure in the next 6 months other than ordinary stuff?
Well, the bridge, that's gonna come this fall. We'll pay for that this fall. That'll be about $400,000, and then anything else that obviously takes place if he starts buying oil, I understand they're not giving that away right now. So if they're doing
The reason I ask, I don't want to micromanage this by any means, but you get $4 million in money market, could you put $2 million of that in a CD for 6 months?
well, and we just did, we're gonna take $500,000 and put it into that one.
Okay.
And then we've got others that'll come up due this, in July or August. I don't have a sheet.
They're July.
We'll add to those if that is the case.
I mean, it's no big deal between money market and CD, it's only 0.8% on many bucks.
It makes a difference.
$4,000 or $5,000 over and above money market.
What did you say, start with Stan, the homestead credit?
Well, anybody with a homestead credit, the $1,600,
Yeah.
you get paid from the state.
Yeah,
And the county hasn't got that yet.
right. So all the people that got the 1,600, well, how's that implemented, the state?
Well, the state sends it here because it's in lieu of the taxpayer paying.
Right.
State
So,
aid.
the state's paying it, so we'll get that money. I thought in April, but it might be, it might end up being May or June.
Right.
Because
Because
they're
the
having-
deadline is April 15th.
Well, this year's has already been granted.
Oh.
So if you're applying for next year's, though, that deadline is already passed, unfortunately,
Yeah.
so. But, yeah, so we'll have more money when that comes in, and we'll put it away someplace. So, next page, obviously, shows you all those same numbers that I share with you every month, and they should match numbers that are on those 2 sheets that you just looked at, so. We're over invested, but nevertheless, we gotta continue to do those things, so. And then I guess I need you guys to approve both Laura and I to continue to.
I'll make a motion. Guys can, consider the finances.
Okay, motion made by Boone to give them permission to control the finances, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Brian Lout. Any other discussion? I guess one thing I just want to re-emphasize is that by doing this, we almost pay for somebody's salary, I'm sure, right?
We're
More
paying
than that.
for several people's
Yeah.
salaries.
I can remember when I first got on here, we weren't doing this.
If you do the math on this, the interest rate stays the same, it's about $290,000 a year.
Yeah. And that money
I'm
was-
surprised the 3-1 on the money market is staying where
And that alone, at grad, is $4 million in there, but that generates almost $11,000 a month.
Excellent.
So,
All those in favor say aye.
it's.
Opposed? Motion carried.
all right, and then you have pledged securities, don't need a motion on this, but I can assure you that all 3 banks have securities pledged over and above the dollars that we have in them deposits. So I just need a consensus of the commission that they're adequate to cover the county's deposits.
Just go there. We don't need a motion.
No, just your consensus.
Anybody disagree? Good.
All right. Then the only correspondence I got this last month is this here right there. It's a letter from Oskosh Township. I shared it with Brent, and then I responded to the writer of the letter, told him how many miles of road that he has that's seasonal, how many miles are 12 months a year. And after that, I asked him, I said, if you want to come to the commission, you certainly may, and he never did respond to me after that, so that's your township, I believe.
Maybe your township?
Well,
You wanna
that's my
take care-
thing.
you wanna take care of stuff like that?
I sat and listened to this,
Yeah.
and all Paul Kirkcaldy says, I'm done listening to the pitching. We're gonna write a letter, I'm gonna sign it, and we're gonna send it, and commission can read it to Brent.
So Brent has it.
He does.
I sent it to him right away,
Okay.
and he's the one who provided me with the seasonal miles and the total miles, and so I responded to Paul.
So you sent that back to Paul?
Well, that's, I mean, you did what we could do, but I mean, he was wondering, he's trying to make the blade men accountable for what they do, and if we wanna check on the blade men and where they go and what they do, they can do that. Can't the townships do that?
Well, they can either call Dan, Brent or Dan, they can look it up.
Right.
I don't think we want them bothering the blade.
No. Township supervisor
You
should,
check the supervisor, whatever.
As a township chairman, I mean,
Yeah, I would hope.
Well, the township chairman could check it out.
that's him.
And if they've got a concern, I would sincerely hope they would address it with you this summer. I mean, they could have come here,
Right,
chose not to.
Right.
That's fine.
Or it was explained at the township meeting
Right.
pretty well, everything, and take that back to the residents.
right, but some of these people weren't there.
did you answer any of those questions that they had?
I told them they could get it checked out if they wanted, you know, through the GPS stuff, but whatever, that's what he said.
So is this the old story where they don't think they're giving enough blading done? Is that what you're thinking?
Are you making good use of their time, maybe? The blade men?
How do you judge that?
I don't know.
But I emailed him, I texted him, so I mean, he didn't respond to any of that, so he's either satisfied or
Right.
doesn't take my word for it. One or the other. So that's the only correspondence that I have, and if you wanna visit with Brent about that, you sure can, but,
We'll put it outside, do a little discussion. We'll give them 2 minutes on it.
Good luck with that.
portfolios, you got 7 minutes.
But before we go to that, when are we gonna pick the time to visit with those townships? When are we gonna set that up?
Has to be after the election, cannot be on a Monday, anything else we can make work.
Okay.
Because the following Monday will be an audit of the election, and the following Monday after that will be canvassing. So any other day, but I think it has to be in the month of June.
Yeah, so maybe in that main meeting, let's bring a calendar here and let's set it up.
Okay?
After the fair, before the fair. Fair is the,
That's the thought, yeah, the Father's Day weekend.
I'm just, you know, that's just something to think about.
And we might wanna space it out. You guys will have to decide how you wanna go about it. I don't know that all 5 of you have to be in all 9 of them, if we go about it the same way. But maybe you can each commit to being a part of 3 or 4 of them or whatever. So we'll figure something out. Keep it geographically close.
Well, I'm thinking next meeting, we're gonna know whether Springbrook's gonna be going or we're gonna be late or whatever, you know, because you gotta kind of work it all out of it too.
And how many meetings we have? We don't necessarily have to have as many meetings as last time.
Well, how many meetings do we have?
We had 9 last time.
9 meetings?
We had 36 townships, we had 4 each one. Right.
We could probably shorten that up.
Just as you get.
Maybe get it down to 6 or something. I think if you get it 2, then it's be just like being out at the hall.
Well, exactly, yeah.
But sometimes nobody shows up at them too.
Well, we
1 or
had
2 out of a township.
We had
Some
pretty
of
good
the-
participation.
Yeah, but there was a couple of them, nobody showed up to some of the townships.
We were only,
certain townships were represented.
we were only missing one township. We got 35 out of 36
Oh, we did?
attendance 2 years ago. Doesn't
That's
mean
what I
that.
thought.
Okay, I thought we had two or three.
That's at that end of the.
Yeah.
Well, it's worthwhile in things like this, and that's what we need to discuss. Okay, portfolios. Everybody look at the portfolio, let's start with Brian.
Visited with Boo, I guess, Tim got deployed and gonna be deployed probably July for sure, so.
Oh, wow.
We're down to deputy, still looking for replacements, but doesn't sound like much luck there. And,
That young guy?
yeah, the newest ones. So, yeah. Put a wrench in stuff for a while, I guess, and Ward's working a little bit, I think he had 17 hours or something, but otherwise, not sure what they got planned. Find the deputies to make them.
Does Ward just like work when it feels like it, or is he assigned?
Yeah, I think kind of when it works on his schedule, he does different stuff too, and I'm sure he visits with Chris to kind of see when they need that person.
You look at his time sheet, he never put in a full shift, 4 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours.
He was up to fire up north. He was also over direct north of Oregon. Yeah. I thought they
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
was turning off or something. Sounded like that was a pretty intense one. There was quite a bit going on there. Such.
So yeah, they're busy, I guess, since they're shorthanded, and then Carla, she's real busy, and she's going to a conference in May, I think, the state convention for them, whatever it is. They're staying busy too.
There's a lot of court cases.
Yeah. A few of those and master calendar tomorrow.
Stan, I don't have much for you today. It should maybe 20 minutes, we'll get through all that.
Got 2 minutes.
You better be bringing in pizza and drinks with all that.
Otherwise, that's it for those.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
Janna is at the beginning of April, which is all the equalization meetings. She's pretty busy at the time because there's an equalization meeting in Hurdsfield on May, which goes through the moral support of anything else. She's really concerned by it.
That's tomorrow night?
Yeah.
When's the one in Hurdsfield?
Well, and here's the other issue then, that there's kind of a bit of discontentment, but don't put this in paper, with auditors in Hurdsfield, that there just isn't a consistency, I think, in assessing things, so some of the people down there were very happy, so that'll all shake out in that equalization meeting too, which that's, I think, before the end of April. Other than that, it's kind of busy. So,
Yeah, I got it quite long.
well, that's your area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Feel happy with all of that.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, Boone,
I
Brian?
haven't heard nothing, so we just gotta get to the end of the year and she will take that position if she resigns. Yeah,
Oh, that.
we'll have to interview her if Dan gets a resignation or whatever it is.
And we're still planning for September-ish break. Somewhere thereabouts,
For a resignation.
well, for to open position up.
Okay. Okay.
Anything that much, Denver, focusing on this stuff? That means everything going, so. Nothing there.
Not really here, we do have a librarian now. It's not in the full capacity, but she's gonna help a lot.
Part-time?
Yeah, part-time, and they're, we're gonna look for more as they go. But they are dealing with it, and they're making it work. I will say that. Very diligent.
Good. That it? Okay, thank you.
Scott gets up here then.
Come on up, guys.
Good afternoon.
You get blown in?
We did. But lost that door. Yeah. I got all that myself. So typical of our Garrison diversion, here to talk a little bit about the Red River Valley Water Supply Project. I don't know if you've seen in the papers or not, but Senator Hoban has found some money for the project. It's going to come in 2 different packages. So one is 50 million, one is 100 million. With the $100 million, we probably would start on the portion of the project that the federal government's involved with, and that's the western 32 miles of the project. So from the canal, the Husky Canal, you go east 32 miles, so that's the federal government's involved in that, so we can use the money there. What that means is the construction timeline has bumped up. So potentially we could bid this fall and start construction in 27, spring of 27. And that construction would start roughly where Chaseley is. And then that would go, we would start at Chaseley and would work back to the west. So we weren't pursuing any permits with Wells County because we thought we were still another year or 2 out. But that has been bumped up, and so we're here to ask about what kind of permits do we need?
So you would go from what appears here, Chaseley, all the way to the county line?
That's what
You have it, Jay.
So we'd start at Chaseley, we'd go about 10 to 12 miles
West.
west.
Very good. Yep.
And you can see there's not a lot of roads in that area.
No.
And so one of the first questions we'd be asking, besides the permits that we need, we would want to use Chaseley as a haul road.
The Chaseley Highway, you're saying?
The Chaseley Highway is the haul road. And what we've done with other counties is we have used paved roads like that for a haul road, and then when we're done, we've come in and milled it and done an overlay on that as part of the project.
How far north are you coming? I mean, if you're gonna use Chaseley as a haul road, I mean, are you just saying off of 200, that mile through Chaseley, it looks like? You're not coming from the north, you're talking the mile off of 200 basically to get to, through town to Chaseley, correct?
Yep. And
We've
then our
talked about
pipeline
that.
crosses Highway 3 where Doug Newhart did. That's the only gravel road we have to work with. Newhart's Road, and the one comes from Chaseley, that's all we have for the haul roads.
When will you know if you're gonna get this funding?
Any month, any week, I mean, it's kind of hard to get answers out of DEC, but I would think within the next month or two we'll know. It's just a matter of, will we bid this fall or bid this winter, I think is the question.
No work done this year then, is what you're saying?
I don't believe so. You know, maybe what you would see is if we got all the permits worked out, they might start hauling in materials after the first of the year. So it would still be pushed into 27. What we're finding is when they haul aggregate in the wintertime, it saves a lot on the roads,
Oh, yeah. Depending on the winter.
depending on the winter, yeah.
Is your, where you're planning to go with this, is that the same group that was presented a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. Then I guess it would be my recommendation, we go see Janna in the tax director's office and she'll get you whatever permit applications that you need. And so,
I think I have new permit applications that changed since the last time.
yeah.
I do have that, so.
Have you,
She's the one you're gonna want.
Yeah, he's the expert.
And does that address haul roads, those questions
well,
too?
the only haul road that you're gonna have that is county related is the mile through Chaseley.
A lot from Hurdsfield north.
That's That's state highway.
State highway,
That's
so
Well, that's state highway, yeah.
we're working with those guys.
And then, so you have, according to the map, you have 1 mile from 200 through the town of Chaseley up to the intersection up there. And then, it looks
One.
like one.
Just one.
Yeah, up just right where the cemetery is. And then I mean, you'll have to reach out to Bull Moose Township, to the
Yep.
townships for Hall Road there.
Yep,
But like you said, there's not many roads to choose from here.
yeah, we start here first and we'll work our way down the list of people who we have to meet with.
You have to cross where that water comes out of the big water by Hurdsfield. You have to have a pipeline underneath there, correct?
It looks like they're going around it.
That
Now,
big-
the water gets released and runs down the trail. North of, what's his name's yard.
Well, they just water that.
Right. But you still gotta deal with the water running while they're doing that.
There usually isn't. It runs about a month a year.
Right, I know, I'm just saying, that's something that has to be dealt with.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can shut the pump off from that.
I guess probably the answer you're probably wanting from these guys is there gonna be an issue with the Hall Road through Chaseley? Any damage to that road, you come in and you mill off an inch or two and you repay it, correct?
So during construction, we would just want to maintain it however best you guys think.
To get through till you're done with these miles.
Yeah.
And then
when
we
we're
look
done-
at it, and so, I mean, is there any concern amongst you guys with that?
Something like the railroad did up in Heimdall.
Basically, yeah.
Right.
Did they mill an overlay when they were done?
Yeah.
I don't know.
After, with that oil tanker break,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, they destroyed like 2.25 miles of pavement, and when the project was all done, and for the most part, the cleanup was done, then they came in and they did a mill in like a 2 or 3 inch overlay. They didn't completely build the road, but, yeah. I guess the one concern is just, keeping the speed down through Chaseley. There are people that live right along that stretch through there. I can see my phone ringing already. I mean, it's not, I'm not concerned about it, but I mean, there is a lady or two there that will complain if a truck goes through there at 35.
Yep,
We can do that.
yep.
But you don't have you only got a mile to get up to speed anyway. You're not gonna go through there at
Well, when
60.
they're turning right there.
They're turning, right, you're only talking about it. So I guess, do you guys have any concerns with them hauling on that road?
No.
It's gotta be done.
That's the way it is. Only they agree to get it fixed back the way it was, or better.
And I mean, the thing is I would assume this is a couple years to do all this. You're not gonna, if you start in 27, 3 years to get this portion done?
Yeah, about 2 years worth of pipeline work and probably another summer for restoration.
Yeah, reach out to Janna, she'll
Yeah.
get you what you need. And then when it is time to talk about road stuff, deal with him, and then if you're no doubt gonna have to deal with some townships here. It might not be a bad idea to ask Janna, show her your route there and make sure that they're all with the county as far as zoning. We've got a handful of wildcat townships, but I don't know if any of these are.
I think I looked and I don't think we go through any that have their own unless that's changed.
So
No, it is.
just be sure to ask her that question. She'll be able to tell you. I don't think there is
It
either.
shouldn't have changed, sure.
They haven't lost any. They gained a couple, but there's still a few that have not. But, yeah, some of that.
So if the money from the government falls through, this won't be happening until when?
Maybe probably 28.
One thing you'll probably want to make sure that is up wherever, with the wind towers and stuff that we're doing in northeastern part of the county, there were some people here that put their zoning back, and when they started coming, they got excited. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, I'm just saying, be prepared for that. Because you know, townships, some seem to wake up, there's something on the way. People are trying to do that before.
Yeah.
I just, you know,
These townships